On Forbes, how to invest in real estate during the pandemic. How to invest. This headline really caught my attention because I think, even myself included, a lot of people want more information of how they should be investing during this time. What are the opportunities?
Right.
This article goes on to talk about the obstacles and the opportunities in financing, in single family housing, in multifamily housing, commercial property, and then how to stay prepared for future uncertainty.
You were a little disappointed in this article.
I was very disappointed. I thought the headline was not directly correlated with the information. I mean, I guess that's pretty common nowadays. You should just expect that the headline is not going to really tell you what you want to know or I was expecting coming in here and be like,
they were going to tell you to, I guess the hardest part right now.
This location, this type of property, that's what you want to hone in on.
Well, I guess the hardest part right now is everything is so uncertain. So you have to sort of tread lightly too, because what may have been wonderful last week may not be so great this week. And things are certainly changing. I mean, obviously there's a lot of states opening up this week. So it'll be interesting to really see what does happen, come next week. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, as things open up, does more inventory start? I mean, that's the big problem we're dealing with real estate. We talked about that, I think, a little bit here in the past, but it's the inventory shortage, but financing, let's just look at that. They talk about the opportunity and they really just talk about how bad it is. Credit is tightened, even though rates are low. Rates are low. That's not how to invest. That's information. So I don't really see in the financing, when I saw the tag for financing, I thought they were going to go in this direction. If you're sitting on cash, while guidelines have gotten tighter for people to borrow from a traditional bank, you can become the bank. You could provide seller financing to people in your market that trust, that you vetted, and basically give them a mortgage. That, to me, right now, is an opportunity for somebody sitting on cash that maybe doesn't want to go and buy the actual real estate, but wants to invest in those investors in their local market, right? They didn't go that direction.
No.
Single family houses, what did they say the opportunity was?
Well, that was the opportunity was that the interest rates were relatively low. But I do have to agree there, though. I mean, if you really think about the cost,
they're talking about some government-backed renters as well for single family, because obviously there's some renters are not paying, so maybe you want this government-backed rent for single family. That, to me, that's
we're bouncing down to
not the
single family
opportunity
already. Wow, we're bouncing quickly here, huh?
Yeah, I went over to single family. Yeah,
clearly.
Right? Yeah. They're talking about Section 8. Okay, so buying Section 8 housing, I guess, right? Because they're just talking about guarantee pay there.
Right.
What do you think, Nicole? I'd be more interested in.
Holy hell! I'm trying to catch up with you here. You're moving quick, huh? You don't like this article at all.
No, I think it was just thrown together. Maybe an intern did it over at Forbes.
Wow.
And they threw it together. They don't really have, if I'm looking to get into investing this summer in 2020, there are no tangible steps that I can take. So I'd rather go to you, Nicole.
Yep.
What's your opinion if, somebody comes here today to call you up and they say, hey, I've got, this itch I need to scratch. I need to invest in real estate. I haven't really done it in the past. I want to get into it. Where are the opportunities?
Well, and again, I mean, I think it was really smart of them to at least break it up into subcategories, because again, I mean, if we're talking about single family homes, yes, I do think that there is a wonderful opportunity here. Do I think that it's going to end once the pandemic ends? Not necessarily. I mean, again, this article is just during the pandemic, how to invest during the pandemic.
Exactly.
So again, I can't say that I think that buying a single family home during the pandemic is going to be your only opportunity for low rates, but right now, what am I seeing? Yes, rates are low. I am seeing a wonderful opportunity for people to get into the market, even though there isn't a tremendous amount of opportunity, because the banks have sort of put a little bit additional regulations on buyers. It actually has eliminated some buyers from the buyer pool as well. We are successfully putting deals together for buyers. Obviously, so let's say it's like a $300,000 sale. It's way cheaper for them to buy it right now than it was 12 months ago. So I think as long as the buyer is maybe willing to sort of look at purchases more on their expense per month and maybe not necessarily on the purchase price. I think everyone's always held up on purchase price and like, I want a deal, or, hey, I don't want to, buy it for like list price. But I do think that as long as it's priced appropriately, you kind of have to look at your monthly expense there. So anyway, do I think that it's a great opportunity right now for single family homes? Yes. But do I think that it's going to like end once the pandemic ends? I have to say no. So again, this article is very much about the pandemic. Multifamilies, is there an opportunity for multifamilies?
There always is.
Absolutely. I mean, I obviously if people, you definitely can't be faint of heart right now because there's certainly going to be a risk, especially when the government is talking about, people not having to pay rent. I mean, I'm a landlord and, when you start hearing things like that being thrown around, you naturally get nervous. But I do think that you obviously have to continue to have a relationship with your tenants, and we're in constant contact with ours. But yeah, I mean, is there an opportunity? Fine. I mean, I guess I'm with you on this, I mean,
yeah. And to me, I would have started this article.
There's not really anything to bite your teeth into beyond what everyone is hearing from their real estate agents already, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't dig any, deep. The first thing I would have started with, step one, if you want to invest in real estate during the pandemic, is get ridiculously educated on the 30-minute radius. Draw a circle around where you live, not where you want to invest, not like, oh, I really like that state. It'd be so cool to own property over there. Draw a 30-minute radius around where you live and then become obsessed with the information and the data in that market. Whether that means becoming best friends with the top real estate agents in that market and picking their brain constantly. Right now, you can't go do my favorite thing, which is just like, if you're interested in a certain area, go to open house after open house after open house. I love doing that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say sit at the bar and get some people at the bar.
That's a good way. That's a good way to learn real estate when the bars are open because all the agents are there. So you could certainly do that. But no, like you can't go and actually get into the inventory as freely as you were able to before the pandemic.
But on the other end, there are so many more virtual tours where, if you legitimately are sort of stuck home or that's where you feel the most comfortable, I mean, you do still have an opportunity to preview inventory. A lot of people are doing a lot of online tours too. So, maybe you don't have to get out and see, like if you don't want to go the full 30-minute or mile distance that you're talking about, I mean, you can sort of do it from the comfort of your own home to get a little bit more.
And when I say draw that 30-minute radius, I'm saying only educate yourself within that bubble because you're going to, when you do actually pick your investment, you're going to need that property to be within a 30-minute drive for you to actually be successful, because this is, if I'm reading the article, how to invest in real estate during the pandemic, I'm guessing that person has not, is more on the beginner level of investing, right? So in the beginning, stay local. So get really educated on that market because what happens then is as you start to really look at the hot sheet every single day, as you look at what's selling, as you look at what's coming on the market, you will naturally start to find the deals, right? You will naturally start to see properties that have like single family homes that have great bones, that are located in a great spot, but just need paint and flooring. And for whatever reason, they're priced 20% below the rest of the market. Now, this takes patience, right? So how to invest in the real estate during the pandemic? Same way you do not in a pandemic. You have extreme patience and you're extremely knowledgeable about the market so that you can wait and jump on that deal that the agent took terrible photos of, that is underpriced because there's wallpaper, and all you got to do is paint flooring and you get in there and you spend that money and now you have 15% instant equity in your rental property. That's how you invest. And yeah, it's ultimately going to come down to renting it at some point. Or here's another one, Nicole. Here's another one that I think you would agree with me on right now.
Yeah.
Like knowing, because we know our local area. In our local area, there's a great opportunity to flip because we're dealing with 20 to 30% a decline in active listings right now. We have no inventory.
Well, as long as you're flipping quick.
Yeah, if you're flipping
you have to
quick,
keep your timeline pretty tight. I mean, you should really try to keep that, closer to like a 60 or a 90-day flip. I mean,
you don't want to get into a situation where you're into this thing for 9 months and the world has changed completely again and gotten worse. I agree with you there.
But then you're carrying costs. Yeah.
But maybe you have a rental that you can turn into a flip or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I think flipping right now is attractive. It's why Zillow and Open Door has gotten back into buying homes, because they see an opportunity to buy and turn them back over on the market with inventory being so low. So get super educated on the market in which you're going to invest in. That's a bigger opportunity than anything that they talked about here.
Well, and I think to like sort of piggyback that too, I think that it's super important for you to sort of keep a little bit more of an open mind. So maybe again, in our area right now, like short-term rentals are huge. So maybe again, that property becomes for now a short-term rental, a 30-day rental, 60-day rental, 90-day rental. And then again, but once we get through this, maybe that becomes more of a long-term rental once everything sort of starts to slow down and the short-term rental game isn't so large, maybe it then turns into like an annual rental. So I don't think these properties need to be purchased to be used sort of in one way. So I think that that's important to look at too, sort of like bob and weave,
I like that. Bob and weave.